Hello YouTube, this is Thomas Judge back with something a little bit different that I've been looking forward to doing for a little while. And that's going to be my first ever over-the-head skycam video, going through a comic. I previously used different setups and it's all been a bit budget and things have kind of varied from time to time. But hopefully this can add a little bit more professional sheen to the channel. And the first thing I wanted to show was something I know everyone loves, which is an absolute edition and especially a custom absolute edition. Now, let's not get overexcited. This isn't a custom printed, custom built Absolute Edition. I am working on some of those and they will be coming up in some videos, hopefully within the next few weeks. But for now, I just wanted to show you an Absolute Edition where I've done a bit of custom work to it and adjusted it and amended it and fixed a few bits and pieces. So to start off with, here we have it. We have Absolute Batman Incorporated by Grant Morrison. What is Batman Incorporated? There's actually two different series of Batman Incorporated. One was right before Flashpoint and the New 52, and one was then set in the early part of the New 52. Those of you that know my channel will know that I've done a really comprehensive reading order of the New 52, and I'll put a link to that in the video below so you can see the exact bit I'm talking about in terms of Batman Incorporated. Now, the Absolute Edition of Batman Incorporated was something that I originally got way back before I really understood as much about DC as I do now, and it contains both series, so the pre-Flashpoint and the post-Flashpoint Batman Incorporated. Now, the one that I bought was actually quite badly damaged, and so what I did is I've done some custom work to it to kind of make a few new bits and pieces, but I'll show you that in just a second. Firstly, I am conscious that looking at this comic here, you don't really get a sense of scale. It says Absolute Batman, but for all you know, it could be standard trade paperback size. So what I have next to it, for comparison, is Absolute Scarlet. So, Absolute Scarlet, as you can see there, Absolute Edition, Absolute size, and it is the same size as the hardcover I'm showing you here. For those of you that, I'll move this out of the way. For those of you that aren't familiar with Absolute Editions, they basically look like this. They're hardcovers, they're huge, in that they're substantially larger than trade paperbacks, and this lovely slipcase action right there. And they don't normally come with dust jackets or anything fancy like that. This one does come with a ribbon, which is great to see. Anyway, so this is an Absolute Edition, and Absolute Batman Incorporated is very similar to this. It comes in a hardcover with a slipcase, and it doesn't have a dust jacket, and so on. That's not what we have here, and the reason for that is that when I actually bought my Absolute Batman Incorporated, I bought a really damaged old copy of it, incredibly cheap. And so as a result, I got that old damaged copy and I thought, right, what can I do to do a little bit of customization to actually make it into kind of a New 52 specific Absolute Edition? Because those of you that know me know I'm a big New 52 fan, and I wasn't a fan of the original 8 issue set before the New 52. So, first things first, the Absolute Edition that I had was quite badly damaged. The slipcase was an absolute wreck, and a lot of the pages inside were damaged and scuffed. So what did I do? Well, first things first, I'm going to take off this dust jacket here. We'll talk more about the dust jacket in a moment. But I got the actual original comic here. This is the original board for the comic. If you just do a search on Google or on YouTube, you will see the original Absolute Batman Incorporated and what it should look like. In fact, I'll put a link in the description below to a review from another YouTube channel showing what the actual retail version looks like. It has this as the actual cover of the comic itself. But what you can see here is I've had to fix the spine. So the reason that I did that is the one that I bought, as well as the slipcase being utterly destroyed, it was water damaged, it was split, it was really badly messed up. As well as that, the actual comic inside it was a little bit badly damaged. The spine, because it's exposed, because it faces out of the slipcase, was quite badly ripped and torn and scuffed and all that sort of stuff. So the first thing that I did is I took it apart, I cut the boards off, and I got my binder to bind it like this. And as you can see, it's quite a nice, tight, slick binding. What you can do is you can put lettering across the edge here to like write something, but I decided not to do that because I went down the dust jacket route because I was throwing away the slipcase. So what we have here is the comic, And inside, it actually works out really well. Quite a few of the original issues, especially the first few issues, were quite badly damaged and just ripped and scuffed and torn. So I ripped those out, removed those, and rebound it without having those in. One thing I will point out is that I actually prefer it that way. Quite a lot of Grant Morrison's original run and arc on this was a bit of a mess and a bit discoherent, and I'm not a big fan of it. Whereas I am a fan of the stuff you can see here, which is the new 52 stuff, which frankly just seemed to flow much better and worked much better for me, I thought. Yeah, so this is almost entirely new 52 exclusive material. And we have that here. It's a great comic, it's highly recommended. So that's what I did. What you'll see if you watch some videos about the original Absolute Batman Incorporated is that the retail version is substantially thicker. It's about this thick. So I stripped out about a third, if not more, of the content. Something like 7 or 8 issues. And then I made it like this. Okay? I say I made it, I got my binder to make it. So we have the cover there, we have the spine here, and we have a nice slimmed down comic there. Also, the edges were quite damaged. Like there was scuffs, there was water stain, there was all sorts. So what we did was we sanded it down there and there to even it all out. This is a really simple trick that you can do, or you can get your binder to do, especially if you're putting together trade paperbacks or single issues. Sometimes they don't match up and they're out by a millimetre here or a millimetre there. You just sand it down to make the pages look very, very smooth and slick, which is what's been done here. I can't remember, I did this about a year ago, so I think I got the ribbon put in. I don't think Absolute Incorporated comes with a ribbon, but if anyone here watching this has a copy of that, and they can just shout out in the comments below and let me know whether or not the retail version has a ribbon. I suspect I got this put in. It looks like the sort of thing I would do, to be honest. So, that was the comic itself. The next thing that I did is I didn't want to just leave it like this, and making slipcases is pretty expensive. I've got some other videos about other slipcases I've had made. So I thought what I'd do is I'd make a dust jacket. And this is my first ever absolute size dust jacket. Which was quite exciting because I didn't really know you could make dust jackets in this size, to be honest. So what I did is I got the original image, which is from the original Absolute Batman edition, the hardcover. I think I got this image off the internet. Not 100% certain, but I think I got this image off the internet. As well as that, I got the spine to match up exactly the retail branded version as well. And then the back, I'll move this out of the way. I picked an image that I really like from one of the issues within the comics, and I picked a brilliant line, very important sentence said by Talia al Ghul. If you're a fan of the series, you'll know exactly the moment I'm talking about and the line I'm talking about. So I designed this myself, and then I designed the inside as well. So these are what I call French flaps. So on the back here you have some stuff about the creators, Grant Morrison, so on. I think I lifted this from Wikipedia, possibly Comixology. And then I threw in an image here at the bottom here of Damian Wayne with Batcow. Very cool. I would strongly recommend, if you're interested in this sort of stuff, to check out my other videos, where I think I've got one series which talks about how to design custom dust jackets and talk through different bits of software you can use to do that. And this is how I got this. I basically got this image and then I cleaned out all the background. I left in the pool of blood because it's a cool little bat symbol. And then I had this here just to kind of frame this French flap here. It's quite easy to do, but it looks really cool. On the front flap, I've got a bit of a description. I think I wrote that myself, and I combined it from blurbs and Comixology. And then I got an image here, which is kind of cool just to end that. You'll notice that what it says is this is a custom binding formatted as an oversized dust jacketed edition. Did that myself. With extra bonus materials and streamlined content. In terms of streamlined content, it contains volume 1, number 6, and then Batman Incorporated Leviathan Strikes, which is kind of an issue that was a connective tissue between the pre-Flashpoint and the post-Flashpoint issues. And then for the post-Flashpoint stuff, it's got Batman Incorporated issues 1 to 10, and then 12 and 13. So I'm pretty sure I threw out issue 11 because I don't like it. I'm pretty sure it was a rubbish issue. I don't know if there was an issue 14. If there was, I threw that out as well. And then I threw out most of the Batman Incorporated volume 1 other than issue 6. So I got rid of issues 1 to 5, and I think 7 and 8 as well. So I threw all those out because they weren't very good. But yeah, it's a custom custom selection of comics. I know this is quite a controversial thing. I know people have commented on my videos and they find it hard to believe that I will make custom binds where I deliberately exclude things. But, you know, it's all down to personal taste, isn't it? So, this is the dust jacket. There we are. Let's see how it looks on the comic itself again. Cool. And there we have it. Absolute Batman Incorporated. Again, just for scale, just to confirm that this is an Absolute edition, let's put it next to Absolute Scarlet. And it is basically the same size. Cool, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Just a quick brief overview, not really much to add here, nothing that exciting here. For me it was really interesting, well, one, to set up a skycam setup so I can use a double-handed approach, but also to mess around doing custom stuff on an absolute scale, which I'd never done before. So designing an absolute size dust jacket and then binding and messing around with absolute size comics. What I am doing now is, subsequent to doing this, with Batman Incorporated, I have been working on actual custom printed, custom built Absolute editions from scratch with slipcases and dust jackets and all that sort of stuff. It's taken ages and it's been a really long, slow slog and very carefully designing and sculpting these comics. But yeah, I think it's really worth it, and hopefully over the next few weeks I'll be able to start showing you some of those now that I've got the new camera set up. I'm conscious that a lot of people ask about how to design dust jackets and how I do that sort of stuff. I did do a short YouTube series on it, showing you the software that I use and how I do it. I've actually been working on repairing a dust jacket for a omnibus, a DC omnibus actually, which I got recently, which was quite badly damaged. And so what I think I'll do is the next set of videos I'll put up in the next few weeks will be showing that damaged dust jacket and showing how I've essentially repaired it and how I put together the dust jacket file to get printed and to send to my binder for him to make a brand new dust jacket there. So I'll do that as well. They do say that the only two things you can count on in life is death and taxes. I'll add a third one to that, which is that if you post a YouTube video about custom comics, you can count on people asking you where you got it done, how much it costs, if you can recommend a place, and other questions like that. I totally understand why people ask that. I don't really understand why people ask me that, because I've done a series of videos explaining in detail how you can find a binder in your area where you live and how you can get stuff bound. So if anyone asks me questions about that in the comment section, I'm just going to refer you to my previous videos rather than get down a whole rabbit hole of the same responses and the same comments again. I will also link to an amazing channel on YouTube called Hardcover Comic, which has got my friends Matt and Mike on there, who do brilliant videos really regularly talking about custom binding in way more detail than I do. And they do some great stuff on there, so I will add that in the links below. I hope you enjoyed this, guys. Let me know what you think. It's been a while since I showed off a custom on the channel, but hopefully I'll be showing off quite a few more customs over the next few months now that I have the camera set up, which is really pretty key for that. Okay, thanks very much. As always, please like, comment, subscribe. And as always, please support the channel by heading over to nogodswithkings.com and picking up the prose novel from there. Thanks very much, guys. Till next time, guys. Stay classy.